Fantastic, Dave. Let's kick it off.
Yeah, no, excited for today. Europa's coming up in less than 2 months back in London.
I actually can't believe how fast it came upon us. I'm Brian Elsesser. I'm on the sales team here at SaaStr. And
Hey, everyone, I'm David Yankelovich. Same thing, helping out sales at SaaStr. We're here to talk a little bit about SaaStr Europa 2024, which is coming up in less than 2 months, June 4th and 5th in London. It's our second year in a row in London. And because we're back at this same venue, we have some really great tips to share from the experience last year and some things that really can make the event extra special for sponsors to get great results.
yeah, David and I have been now with SaaStr, I think almost 4 years. And so we've seen quite a bit within all the shows that we've been part of. And Europa for sure is a unique show. So we're happy to share some tips as we're going through this.
Yeah. And so with that, yeah, too, feel free to reach out to Brian or I directly. You know, if you want any uh bespoke advice or to talk more about this. So here we go. 5 insider tips for SaaStr Europa 2024. Number one, Brian, you want to talk
Yeah,
about number one a little
have
bit?
a solid activation. So I think one of the big potential misses that can happen at Europa, or at least any of our SaaStr events, but definitely Europa, is leaning too far on your swag as the way in which people are going to come to your booth. Obviously, have swag. We're not saying don't have swag, but you can really use an activation to make the most of your show. And so we partner with, I mean, dozens of local companies to help give options to you all at cost. This is really how we help support our sponsors. But to go and get activations on site within your booth. Now, these are available at Super Gold or above. What we've seen data wise is that there's at least a over 50% lift on your daily lead rate on days that you have something. I think Europa is unique in that some of these activations are super fun. I mean, you see the deal cart on the bottom left for ice cream, but there's like ice cream and churros and all sorts of really unique, I would say, in-country yummy things. And then there's games, right? And gamification. I've seen everything from lock boxes that need keys in order to open them for prizes, all the way to, you can see the putt-putt golf at the top there. And as long as it's really gamified and done well, it'll get out there. But at the end of the day, I really my personal favorites are usually food related, not because I'm always hungry. I am always hungry, but because they're really some of the more. I think when you're in a show and you're running around and you can get something to eat, it's a call to action to go check out what's going on over where people are getting the ice cream.
Yeah, yeah. I think yeah, food's great. Some of this other stuff could be simple, right? The putt putt, simple, easy to execute, and folks had a lot of fun with it. And Make had this really cool wheel. Like it wasn't just any wheel. This was like a super wheel. It was really well designed. It like lit up. It was pretty awesome. So yeah, I mean, all sorts of fun things. Don't forget about the activation. Talk to us about what you're thinking. As a reminder, you do need approval for the activations. Mainly, we would just want to make sure there's no issues with the venue and the fire marshals and all of those details that we know about. So
Yeah,
give us a buzz. Let us know what you want to do. Talk to us about options, and we'll help facilitate
we also want to avoid duplicates, right? Like we don't
that
want to make
too.
sure that your thing is unique to the show so that it's not competing with another one.
If everyone had putt putt, it would be a little weird.
Yeah. Yeah, we do
Yeah.
18 holes though. We can do 18 holes I don't know. There's an idea.
All right, let's go to number two.
Yeah.
Um, and let me just click here. Number two, after parties.
Mm. Yes.
Oh,
Dave, why don't you kick this one off?
yeah, yeah, very cool. So one of the things, SaaStr London is a destination. We have folks coming from all over the world, across Europe. We had folks from India, Israel, US, even from Asia. So we had, a huge conglomerate of folks coming from everywhere. So they're in London, and there's a great opportunity to engage with them outside of the event. So here's a couple of examples of what some folks did last year. Verdane did an awesome rooftop cocktails Paddle and Topline had an awesome like boat party. There was tons of other happy hours, dinners, events, and just a great way to kind of offer more value to attendees, focus on your ideal profile, focus on your customers, and invite them to a get together post event. The other thing that's really cool, you can see this. This was a blog post here by Jason, a guide to some of the ancillary, unofficial, and side events. So if you're planning something as a sponsor and you let us know, we will promote it to the audience of the event. It doesn't mean you have to, have something for everyone because we're going to have, thousands of people. But if you want to do, the boat was limited in capacity. You can set parameters around it. It could be, request an invite type of thing, but we will help you promote it. And just a great way to get, even more value out of the time in London.
Yeah. Look, it's a really walkable area where we are. I would say that if you're going, just like a word of caution, if you are going to do an after party, be mindful that the venue you're looking at doesn't require a cab, because it could take a long time. London does have traffic issues, right? Like so you don't want to be in a cab 28 minutes to get to a party because you might have a really hard time getting turnout. But luckily, like you can kind of see in the right hand side, this picture is like the exact area where Tobacco Docks is, give or take a little bit of room, but it's pretty much right there. And London Bridge has so many different little cool areas, including you can kind of see like the ball like building, the spheric building on the right. If you keep going to the right, there's one of the tallest towers like right there, and it's a really nice place. It's got some great rooftop restaurants, and everything, as well. So it's very walkable. I would stick to the walkable
Mhm.
areas to do things, and there's plenty of opportunity to do so.
Yeah, I'll just add if you notice here, teaming up is also a good way to do
Yeah,
this.
for sure.
There was plenty of examples of that, both at Annual and Europa, but here you can see Paddle and Topline got together to host the boat, and so it's a great way to um, tap into each other's networks, offset costs, and drive even more awareness of your brand and what you're doing.
Yeah, 100%. Cool.
Awesome. All right, number three, invite
Oh,
your
this is
customers
such an
and
important
prospects.
one. This
Yeah,
is
this
such an
is
important
this is
one.
the one.
Look, here's the thing. There will be 4,000 people at Europa this year, and that's great for getting top of the funnel awareness, especially in bringing your brand in front of new eyes. But what I would definitely double down on is the fact that this is an opportunity where you can go have fun with your customers, right? I do a lot of posting on LinkedIn, and one of my favorite posts that I talk a lot about is about the importance of building relationships with your customers, because we're all in this SaaS game together, and we're going to be doing it for a while, right? At least most of us are. And in doing so, you build these relationships. You're going to be working with these people for your career. So bring them together. Go have fun with them. Have them come here. We offer, for especially for our Super Gold and Above partners, tickets are included within your sponsorship. We want you to come invite your customers. Now, every sponsor of SaaStr also has a discount code associated with tickets, right? So use it. Get your customers to come. But you might wind up finding that by doing so, you get that closed deal that is at the finish line, that you're just trying to figure out how to have that compelling moment, that important aspect to get them over the line.
Yep.
That can be, and for many, is SaaStr for
That,
sure.
that yeah, that's what I wanted to kind of echo here, or double click on for a moment, is the concept of engaging your mid funnel, right? You have a funnel of opportunities, and just letting them know, hey, we're going to be at SaaStr, would love to invite you as our guest. Just the gesture can activate opportunities. Hey, we're also doing an after party. Great way to wrap your arms around that funnel, and get pretty quick ROI for the folks who do this right, and of course your customers, right? You don't want to forget about them. What a great opportunity to engage them, IRL. So pretty powerful. Cool.
Cool.
All
All
right.
right.
Number four, Brian.
Rushing right
Two
along.
more. This one, I'll jump in here a little bit. Look, SaaStr, it's gonna be 2 full days. There's gonna be all sorts of fun stuff, and it's gonna go by fast. But there's an awesome opportunity to continue the engagement and learnings from the event, and get more get more out of it post event. And sharing learnings is a great way to like continue to again get that engagement with the audience that you met. So there's a couple great examples of that on social. Something that I love, Make actually did a video. They had like a videographer come in and do a video of their experience and their CEO talking to customers and all the action happening at the booth and things that they saw. And so that just, it got a ton of like traction on social. I remember this one flying around and something that they used for a while as well, that asset. And so that was really great. It was Chart Mogul on the right. They put out a benchmark report that they timed with SaaStr, and they leveraged, post-show engagement to continue promoting that, not just at the event, but post-event. And so things like that are great ways to get more out of your experience. And I'd also say to plan for this before the event, right? Don't just, wait for the event to happen and then say, okay, what are we going to do now? I think what we see the best teams, the one that gets the best results, the best ROI, are the ones who are planning what to do post-show, pre-show.
I'll also just say one other thing too, is that, finding out a little bit about your customers on site, like, or your prospects on site, the people you're talking to, where are they located, where are they coming in from, capturing those moments, capturing those little location aspects are really going to help you throughout your year, because the teams that work these leads throughout the year, knowing that some of these are at the top of the funnel, when they're doing things in, let's say, New York, or they're doing things in London or Berlin or wherever they're doing the next event for their own personal company, if they're pulling lists of those individuals of where they are, it's a great way to keep them within your community and keep them engaged with you, so that, maybe it's a way in which this is the first of a series of Catalyst events that help to get to that closed one deal. So 100%, capturing some insights about the people coming to the booth is important. And then, yeah, I love this post, David. I don't think we talk about this enough, about the learnings piece, like what happened, what did you take away? What was their highlights? And the people that do this the best are doing it constantly. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, cool. And lastly, taking
Oh, yeah.
advantage of an ancillary or media opportunity. I think, Brian,
Yeah.
you've been the master at this in terms of just, helping sponsors really get the most out of it in
Yeah.
terms of those, let's talk about ancillaries for a minute, right? Like ways that you can really extend your brand and your reach at the event outside of, let's say, your booth.
I think one thing is for sure, right? We all go to events, and we go there to learn, we go there to network and engage with each other. But like, when we do, we want natural, really positive opportunities for engagement. And the most
Mm,
natural opportunity for engagement are these little intermediary aspects, right? Like, something as subtle as the water bottle branding, right, is huge, because it touches everyone, and you're putting your brand in the hands of everyone. Whereas, even like, you can see the pub, which this one is sold at the current moment, but the pub, it's an example where you're setting up a space that's branded, right? And it's going to be yours. You're going to engage the people that are in there in a natural, very positive way. And you see this done at every single conference, the big conferences anywhere anyway, especially the ones, like, I'm thinking the ones in Vegas, AWS, like, you see these where, like, the restaurants are taken over, or different spaces are taken over, or certain experiences are handed out. These ancillary moments are really important to getting in front of those eyes. No, second to that is that you have a huge audience that follows the content of this show. So SaaStr's shows are always live streamed. They're always promoted. We have a 500,000 audience that just follows Jason alone. We have 2 million people that follow our content on a monthly basis on our website. And so when you're able to then say, okay, well, there's 4,000 people at the Europa show that I'm going to be in front of, but I could actually get in front of the rest of the audience that's going to engage with the content in a more holistic fashion by just doubling up and getting into the media side. That's where we see our media opportunities, like our podcasts and our newsletters, and even our webinars leading up to it, really come to life. So there's really opportunity, especially. I'll also say that on our digital side, we see our traffic spike at our hot
yeah.
moments, at our hot months, like June and September, where our big events are. there's more eyes coming to SaaStr, so there's more content being consumed, and there's more eyes against your assets. So it's really the best possible time for you to be in front of this. And whereas some brands have already taken advantage of this, we do still have some availability on the media side. It's accessible pricing, it's accessible in terms of availability, and then also it's really quick to put on. It's pretty turnkey. So if that's interesting, do take advantage of it. As an example of just the mass, our daily media, our daily newsletter and our media side gets over 800,000 impressions a month, right? Our podcast every year, well, last year it had over 1.2 million listens. Like we have massive reach that can come along with your on-site presence. And so really flexing that is a great way to make sure you're maximizing the opportunity to SaaS is presenting at this moment.
Yeah, I'd say that's definitely an insider tip, right? We see sponsors who secure their sponsorship and at the same time say, I want June for my newsletter for June and July so that I can get that post-show bounce, or I also want May to get a pre-show. So yeah, a lot of our returning sponsors book those media months with their sponsorship. Like Brian said, we've had great audience growth, so we do have some more availability. And so there's a couple spots left. Let us know what you're interested in, but it's just a great way to, you're already coming, you're already investing in the event, in the audience. It's the right audience for you. And so it's just a great way to really extend that reach beyond the couple thousand folks in person.
Yeah, I'll lastly say, look, like we're coming into the most exciting months of our year. There's no joke. Like June, and then we have July, August, and September, right? Like these are our main months. We do June with Europa, September with annual, and it's where we're getting the most amount of traffic. This is our exciting moment. We really heat up for the summer. No pun intended. Maybe pun intended. Anyway, we do.
Not in the Southern Hemisphere. Come on, Brian.
this is true. They're getting a little different.
So, yeah.
But we definitely get fired up at this point of the year. So it's I do say, like, if you're thinking about ways in which you can deploy your brand in front of an audience, a qualified audience, this is the place to come and do it. Our ICP, our target, it really leans founder. It has a huge amount of executive presence in some of the assets. It stretches all parts of the organization, really. So like, just if you're interested in learning more, you want to see what it could be to be in front of a certain target demographic, reach out. We're happy to share.
Yeah. So I got one other thing here. We went through the 5 tips. I think those are pretty good insider learnings. Thank you, Brian, for bringing all your experience to talk about this. In terms of the ancillaries, there are a few still available. And so I kind of, a lot are taken, but I brought them together in one slide for us to talk about. So there's a couple really great ones that I thought were worth highlighting for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
I'll just kick off with the first one or two here, just to bring a little light onto what they are. The Wi-Fi sponsorship, really cool opportunity. Everyone comes on site, uses the Wi-Fi, all the attendees, and what you have the opportunity to do is both name the network, right? And then also name the password. So it would be SaaStr Wi-Fi from XYZ brand, and the password, could be something related to your brand. So like everyone's got to type it in. Not only that, we got to promote the Wi-Fi all over, as you walk in, it's on the badges. Everyone has to know how to log into this. So we're promoting your brand everywhere. Everyone's going to type your name in. Everyone will know your name at some point during SaaStr. So Wi-Fi is just a great way to reach everyone.
Yeah, I think there's 2 on here that stand out like right away to me. Well, 3, but I'll just start with these 2 because they're next up on the list. The coffee and tea. So I think there's an epidemic in SaaS where coffee's a thing, and then in London, tea, right? Everyone loves their tea. So coffee and tea, it's going to touch most of the hands in this show. It'll touch most of them multiple times. And what this is, you're getting all the branded signage on your on the cups, and as well as on the actual areas where it's served.
Yeah. And there's always a line, right? I mean, that's just like
it's a massive line. It's a really great opportunity to just place yourself in front of the largest amount of the audience. And I think that's the same thing with registration. Our registration sponsorship is the ability to touch every single person coming into the show. Literally, like you have the ability to be in front of them. Not
But
only
you
the
can't
ability to
touch
be
them. You
in,
can't touch them, but you
well,
can, just to speak
you have
clear.
the ability to be in front of them. You also have the
Yeah, thank
ability
you.
to give them something, at the entrance, right? You could do something that's a little extra that goes above and beyond even the 30K because you're doing you have the ability to. You're in front of them. This is a really powerful sponsorship. In at annual, we've had paddle, we've had ramp, we've had a few of some really big brands take advantage of this, and they always yield some of the highest outcomes in terms of lead count just because of this
Yeah,
opportunity to be in
yeah.
front of the
See
audience.
that you
So
see that brand as you walk in the door. It's like
yeah,
the first thing you see. So very cool. What else? We also have happy hour opportunities, another way to highlight your brand at a time that folks are getting together. Everyone loves the happy hours, and putting your name there is just a great way to get it in front of folks.
yep,
I'm going to skip down to swag store. Um, you know, Everyone comes to SaaStr and gets swag. It's something that we're pretty famous for. I got a closet full of SaaStr t-shirts and hats over here. But yeah, I mean, everyone comes to get that, and putting your brand right there at the swag. We've seen some folks that are kind of in the swag business or swag adjacent business, sponsor that station over the years and have always gotten great results. Excuse me.
yeah.
And then lastly, there's brain dates, right, Brian? And that's something I know you've been pretty involved in.
Brain Dates is one of my favorite and really our most tried and true, I would say, ancillary sponsorship we have on site. Tried and true because we've even done case studies over the years on it. Bless you, David.
Thank you, sir.
We've even done case studies on it over the years to show its effectiveness. And what's really interesting, so our brain date area, every single person that comes to SaaStr has the ability to do a brain date. A brain date is
Mm,
pretty much a round table discussion on a topic that you can either set yourself or you can join one that's already preset. And it's a really, really great opportunity for not only networking, but to go and have a deep dive kind of conversation in a topic you like. And so their sponsors not only get to do this, but they can also lead what we call super brain dates, which are mentored, a little bit larger sessions inside the brain date area. And it's a way in which you can have some cool topic specific content that you can drive alongside having your brand right next to it. I love the brain date sponsorship. It's one of their most popular areas every single year at SaaStr, at every single SaaStr event we do. People know that they're
yeah.
going to, when they come this SaaStr, that they're going to do a brain date. So if you want to have some really great interaction with the audience, this is a really great opportunity.
Especially in Europe. I don't know what it is. Look, it's great in annual, but in Europe, I mean, it's just everyone loves this. And putting your brand in front of all those great conversations and thought leadership really associates you with, I think, what SaaStr is probably most well known for, which are those really great conversations that happen, discussions about really important topics. And so, just a fantastic way to really extend your reach and position your brand with thought leadership, with conversation, with learnings. So it's a good one. These are good ones. They're still available. They probably won't be for long. There's also yeah, we're moving into full production. So this is it. This is the time.
This is the time. This is the
Cool.
moment.
Yep.
We're pumped, everyone. I think that what we have ahead here for London is going to be super exciting this year. It's going to be our biggest Europa event ever. I know we say that every year, but honestly, we're growing every year, so that's kind of a fun way to we it's going to be bigger. It's going to be
Yeah.
awesome. So,
Good.
that's exciting. And then I mean, I can't wait for us to get back to London. So, for all our friends overseas, we're coming. We're coming for you. We can't wait to see you.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, listen, if anyone wants this deck, I know that it'll be available on YouTube with our recording from the live stream. And feel free to reach out to Brian or myself for any questions if you want to talk about any other tips and tricks, or if you're interested in any of these ancillaries or media, we're available to help in any way we can. And yeah,
Yeah.
we'll talk soon, right?
Game on. Well, if you want to reach out to me, you can get me on LinkedIn. You can also find me at my email, which is brian@sasterco.com.
Great.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Bye-bye.